This is the dashboard, and I say a very big welcome to everybody, old timers and newcomers. I say a very, very big welcome, and thank you for dropping by to watch yet another video right here on the dashboard. My name is OJ, and I'm so happy to be doing this. First off, if you're here to subscribe to the channel, hey, please feel free, hit the subscribe button, and of course the bell just beside it so that you can get our videos and our posts just as soon as we put it up on the internet. And so once again, I say a very big welcome. So what exactly am I talking about today? Many things, and today I'm going to be letting you to my world, not exactly my world, my past, more of my past and my growing up life and how crazy it was, and not exactly bad or crazy, but it was fun growing up. Now I can see it as fun, but back then it was struggle, it was survival of the fittest. It was real crazy hustle in the barracks. Yeah, I'm a barrack boy. Once a barrack boy, forever a barrack boy, okay? It doesn't matter the barrack, whether it's civilian barrack, so of course there's only military barracks. Whether it's police barrack, army barrack, prisons barracks. Yes, prisons barrack, right? Yeah, Naval barracks, or is it Navy barracks? Whichever barracks at all, base, we're all the same, okay? So my growing up life was purely in the barrack. The first 17 to 20 years of my life was basically in the barrack. So yeah, but if you want to have a bigger view, a bigger perspective of my life in the barracks, I have a book on Okada Books, that app called Okada Books, yeah. So you could just go check it out. Check out Life of a Barrack Boy by OJ Aito, or just check out OJ Aito or Life of a Barrack Boy. Just type it up there and you get it for a free download, and I'm sure you get to see the bigger picture. Yeah, kind of. That book is no doubt one of the most hilarious and funny book you will ever come across from a Nigerian, forget it, from an African, forget it, from anybody in the world. Yeah, I can boast by myself. That said, I'm so going to be talking about my mom today in these stories I'm going to be sharing with you, because hey, my mom growing up, she was everything to us. She's still everything to us right now, and it's really crazy when I think about how life was then and how instrumental my mom was in raising not just me, but my brothers and my sister, and not just the nuclear family, but also the extended family, because there was never a time in, maybe until I was in my 20s, my mid-20s, that my family became a nucleus family. And at that time, I was already out of the house, so I was always just coming now and then. That was the only time, that's been the only time that my family has been one nuclear family, like father, mother, and children. Ever since, even before I was born, there has been one uncle, one auntie, one cousin out there, one mother's brother, sisters. My mom has this communal, mentality, as opposing to my dad. But hey, my dad will always go for anything she's okay with, and the family grew and grew. So there was a point in our family that we were about 16 in one house. Yes, maybe the highest we've had. Not that there was a patio. There was no party in the house. There was no people living with us in the house, like for months stretch. For about 16, I could count them. My dad's children, about 6 of us. Yes, 6 of us, not more about, just 6 of us, no more, no less. But people who live with us, cousins, uncles, brothers, and sisters from parents, from the mother's side, from the father's side, made the family extra big and many mouths to feed. And growing up was crazy in some sense, crazy in some sense. But I remember growing up, my mom was a tough woman. She's still tough, only that right now there's nobody to be tough to. So she's transferred the toughness to us. But I can't use the toughness that she trained me with to train my own kids right now, because I think that toughness is a little bit, archaic to these times that we are. Discipline is key. I see discipline in my kids. Corporal punishment, maybe if necessary, but mommy was really cool. She's still very cool when it comes to discipline. She was with the force. She retired with the force. So She's the barrack person, exactly. Not my dad. My mom was the was the barrack person. So my mom was tough with me particularly because I'm the second child of my family, and myself and my brother, I'm the more adventurous in some sense. Like when it comes to looking for trouble, when it comes to disobedience, like disobeying the rules, I was the one that led the team. I led the that led the pack, the family pack. And so I've bore most of the brunt when it came to repercussions and consequences of disobeying and all that. I broke so many of those stronganism that my mom had, but it was tough for me. But my kid brothers and sisters just had a drive through teenage years and even in their 20s, because I'd fought the good fight and they were just reaping the fruits of all of that. So I remember very well, my mom was tough on me having girlfriends. In fact, she never allowed me bring any lady home. She didn't want to know if the person was a girlfriend or a classmate or something or church member. You just couldn't bring a girl home. So whatever I was doing with my friends who were ladies, I did everything outside, whether in school, whether in somewhere we hung out and stuff like that. I never brought anyone home. So there was this friend of mine, very fine, Cynthia. I don't know where she is right now. She's definitely married. I don't know if she's in the country. I've not seen her in the past 20 years. Okay, I'm not that old, okay? Just in case you're wondering, like this guy, you're talking about 20 years of your life and you're talking about, I'm not that old, I'm just exaggerating. So when I say some numbers, just don't take those numbers serious, except I tell you to take them serious, okay? So Cynthia came home one day to my house one day without telling me that she was coming. She was just strolling by. She's my classmate in school. I think when SS1 or 2 then, I can't remember exactly what class, but we're in senior school. And so she just came by. Every other time she passed by, either we were talking outside by the lawn, we had the sit down area, in front of my parents' house. She never really came into my house. But that day, were there phones then? No, there were no phones then. Yes, I was a teenager when there were no phones. So I was upstairs in my room, and so I said my mom just called me from downstairs and said I should calm down. And so I came downstairs thinking it was just a normal, everyday call and all of that. And so I saw Cynthia on the couch, seated very comported. Cynthia, I know she's a very playful lady, very friendly, but she was just. So I rushed down the stairs, like, when the usual guy, we don't walk on the stairs. We either run up or run down or slide down, whichever one that. But walking or just taking your time, we never did that. We took it in 3s and 4s. And so I came down the stairs only for me to just get down to the living room, and I saw Cynthia on the couch and my mom on the next, single couch, and my mom was interrogating her. Then I was like, Mom, what's going on here? And Cynthia was, I could see the fear in her eyes, like she's just in soup and stuff like that. And then Mom was like, so who are your parents? So my son is your boyfriend. And she said, no ma. Like, okay, why are you lying? I'm like, Momsy, please, she's my classmate. And Momsy said, okay, sit down. She told me to sit down. So I sat down beside my friend, and Momsy started going through her bag, looking for probably nothing. So she just left us there. And the girl has already been questioned, so she was not even in the mood to have a gist again. Me too, I didn't even know where to start from, because first of all, she was not my girlfriend, she was just a friend, and a very good friend that we shared notes in school, we did tutorials together, we read after school together and stuff like that. She was just a cool friend, very cool-headed Catholic friend, emphasis on Catholic now. And so we were just there, the atmosphere was very tense. We sat down there for about 5 minutes, and it was obvious that the girl was going to, said she was going to leave. And so she gave me one final look and said she had to go. I stood up to see my friend out. My friend was at the door. I was right behind her, only for my mom to just say, Vi, come back here. Sit down there. Then I was like, no way. A friend came to see me. Like, why would you tell me not to go out and see her off. Mom says I should not go out though. That I should not step outside of that door. My friend heard it. She just quickly jumped the threshold outside to the fresh air because the inside of the house was already dense with atmospheric pressure. You understand? And so I was so furious. I was so angry. And I told my mom, what exactly is this? She's my friend. She came to see me. Why can't I see her off? My mom said I should not see her off. If I step out of that door, I'm not entering this house again. I'm like, hey. I think I was 15. No, I couldn't have been 15. Maybe I was 15. I can't remember exactly how old I was, but I was in senior school. So, and I was done with senior school by 15, 16. So I was somewhere around 15, 16, sha. But I was furious. I was angry. I was upset. There were no phones to call. So I went upstairs to my window, to my room, and opened my window. And Cynthia was already on the street. And I tried to call her, and she didn't even respond. She didn't even answer me. She just literally brisk walked out of sight, only for me to see her the next week in school. And she said that she will never, ever, 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 ever come near my house again. I'm like, Koma Binu Jo. My mom went on that way. My mom was very strict, very unnecessarily strict with guys. I mean, me, my brothers having friends who were ladies. That was just one. There were more occurrences, but I proposed in my heart, just like Daniel, the Hebrew child Daniel, that I was never going to bring any lady to the house again, ever again. And so I grew up, I went to university, all my runs, all my babe runs, all my chiking and all those things were done outside of the house. Nothing did I bring home. I didn't give my mom the faintest, the slimmest of ideas that I had a girlfriend or I had girlfriends or I had plans. It was just a no-no. And my brothers too followed cue, especially the two that were closest to me and then the cousins and stuff. So it was like that too. I finished school. I can't tell you how many girlfriends I had in school. Not that I want to count myself, but I never brought anyone home. Only for me to finish university, I went to serve. I came back. I started working. I was living with my parents at that point. Then she was like, one day, she just come like, wait, come on. Are you not going to, don't you have any girlfriend? And I said, no. And she was like, no, you should have girlfriend though. You're not getting any younger, you should have girlfriend. I'm like, no, I don't. Have you ever had any girlfriend before? I said, never. I've never had girlfriend before. I'm gonna say, okay, so what about your normal friends that are girls? Do you have friends that are girls? I said, yes. And so now I said, can't you just invite them to the house, let them come to the house once in a while? It's not every time you just be sitting down in your room alone, be playing game. Let girls come. Let us see them. At least if you see them, we'll know the kind of girls that you have around you. I said that I'll think about it. But I never brought a girl home. As time went on, Mom, she started, hammering. And I was like, this is the same woman that didn't allow us when we were growing up to even have girlfriends or friends that were girls. And now at the point when I was in my mid-20s, she was already, then Mom, she said one thing one day that I knew that this thing has passed, be careful. I was in a office, office room, that kind of where you have your room, everything's just set up like that. And then she was like, yeah, sit down. She's not Igbo, but she grew up in Enugu, so any small thing is Igbo. Not as if I know how to speak the language, but I know the small ones. So she speaks Ora extremely well. She speaks Igbo better than people who, That's what I was saying. She just said, sit down. So are you telling me now that as old as you are now, you don't have any girlfriend? I'm like, no. You don't have any friend that is a girl? I'm like, no. So like, I just realized I don't have so how are you going to marry if you don't have girlfriend? Like, the same question I was asking you that time, that how am I going to marry if I never had girlfriend? Now you are the one asking me the question now. She now said one thing that baffled me. My mom sees an SU. There's that levels of SU. There's SU. My mom sees SU. Understand? Of all the SUs. She said, come on. You know that there's nothing really wrong there's nothing really wrong if you have girlfriend. There's really, I mean, I met your father when I was your age, so there's nothing wrong having a girlfriend that you have plans to marry. But you must make sure that as soon as you have the girlfriend, you are going to marry at least, so that people will not be fornicating and sinning. Have your girlfriend and you marry in 3 months' time. I say, 3 months' time, okay? I said, no. No, I have girlfriend in 3 months and you marry. No. I'm sure told me that, anyway, Sha, you know that, don't let me use my hand to spoil anything that God wants to do. Just in case any girl gets pregnant for you, don't pursue her away. Bring her home. Let the girl and the baby come. Let the two of them come. Let her come with the pregnancy. I will raise the two of you up. And when she has given birth, you people will have a family and you will move. Momsi said this thing. If someone else told me that my Momsi said it, I won't believe. So since that time, Momsi kept hammering. If I come home from Lagos, she will enter it again. I waited till I was 30 before I ever showed up with any babe in the house. And with that one, I knew that, okay, time had come for me to, to truly get married. So I dealt with her because she dealt with me. Me too, I reciprocated to her. If in case she's watching this video now, Mommy, how far are you there? So, Momsi, like I said, she's been very instrumental to my growing up years. And that's what I want to gist you about Momsi too. Momsi, the fear of Momsi is Popsi too. The fear of Popsi is the beginning of life for you. The fear of Momsi is the beginning of abundant life for you. Both of them had their own, their own area of strength. So there was this particular day, Momsi sent me on an errand, me and my cousin, Izobofolo. So she gave me a car key. I've been driving ever since I can remember. But bicycle, I never really learned. I learned how to ride bicycle at 25. Yeah, unfortunately, because my dad's ideology was that it was only the maids and the servants in the house that rode bicycle. The men in the house, the sons and the man of the house, they had cars. That was the way he was raised, and that was the way, he was raised in his family. So riding a bicycle for us was a no. And so it was when I got to my 25th birthday, I told myself that before this year was over, I had to learn how to ride bicycle. So an adult learning how to ride bicycle was quite embarrassing for me, but I learned it, and there was no shame that remained on me after 2 weeks of learning, and I was good, and up to now I can still ride. So even though I don't ride every day, I can ride whenever I want to, So that one aside. So that day we went on this errand in our car, and we drove. And from the moment I left our street, I started racing. And my cousin was telling me, guy, calm down, don't over race. I'm like, guy, free me, I want to race. This one, the road is free. And so I was overtaking and moving. And the guy was like, sorry, man, calm down, you're running too much. I'm like, okay, I'll calm down. Before I knew it though, I just overtook 1, 2, 3 cars at the same time. Now in one car just show up from my front suddenly from the corner. And guess what? I had to just get back to my lane. And I just swerved back to my lane. But as God would, not God, I can't blame God for it. As the devil, I can't give the devil too much glory. So it was my own making, sha. Now I just jammed the car with my front. Baga, go! And at that time, my eye just cleared. All my speedometer that I was trying to form, my racing demo, my eye just calmed down. My eye just, Then I was just right there. So all the people that I overtook were just greeting me. As we were passing, they were greeting me. Leo, Peleo, Elembeo. I didn't even come out from the car. I just put my hand on my head like this way. I'm dead. So now, the person's car that I jammed, the person's car too, the back was gone. Yes, it was gone. But I was more afraid of my own car than his own car. By the time this guy from that other car, it was a taxi, fine taxi. Guy came down, started shouting that you come down from the car, come down. And so I came down from my car. My cousin came down from the other side, and we saw the two cars. My car was torn. You know, when Moses tore the rest into two. The enemy's car, sorry, the person that I jammed, his car, the bumper, useless. The boot again, everything at Sawale, you understand? So I was just there. The people that the guy carried, the passengers he carried, they all came down and they were touching their head, touching their neck. One said that his neck has dislocated, another said that his arm. So they were all saying that I'll take them to hospital. And then guess what? There was a policeman in the guy's car. And the policeman was happy that, hey, he has entered his Christmas season. So the policeman said I should enter my car, that the man should not even complain, that he will take charge of the situation. That I should enter my car and my brother should go to the back seat. And so he entered the passenger seat and said that we should all head to the police station. So I started the engine. Brr, brr, brr. I just remember that it is me, like me. I just opened the pigeon hole, brought out Momsy's card, and I said, Oga Officer, how are you, sir? Please, this is the card of the owner of the vehicle. The man collected the card and looked at it, and all this gra-gra, I was shouting, you hit someone's car today, you are going to pay for it. You are under arrest. The guy saw the card and said, this is Madam's car. And I said, yes. And he said, are you Madam's child? And I said, yes. He said, Arre. And I said, sir, what does that mean, sir? He said, what will I do now? So the man thought for about some few seconds. And so he said, you know what? Don't say PIM. Don't mention, don't do PIM. Don't say a single word again. From now, henceforth, don't say PIM again. I said, okay, sir. This man came out from the car, went back to the other car that was dislocated, called the man to come out. He said, and I told the man that, Oga, you see, let me tell you something that will help you right now and that will help you well. You see, this car that jammed you, this car cannot go to police station again. This car cannot move. You can't go to police station again. The man said, no problem now. Let the boy come and go and repair my car. Just let him come and repair my car. The policeman said, Oga, calm down, calm down. This boy doesn't have any money. This boy cannot really do anything to help you. The owner of the car is not here. So this boy cannot help you. The man just saw that, he has entered 419 people. He just knew that I had done something to the policeman. Guys just started shouting that, hey, they have treated him, they have taken his life from him, taking his living, everything, blah, 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 blah. Policeman said that, calm down. There's no police station you want to take this boy to. That they will tell him to pay you anything. Just carry your car. Thank God that you still have a car. Just carry it to Panabita. They will also be able to hit everything out and everything will be fine again. The man was furious. But at the end of the day, the man came to my side of the car and was shouting. Was almost going to hold me in my throat. But because they told me not to say anything, I just kept quiet. After the whole shout, this man entered his car and drove off. That's how I was saved though. So, but this Olokpa man, this police officer, was not done. He came back into the car and said, okay, now that we have settled this case, please, I need to see mommy. When can I see her? I said, see her for what? He said, I need to be transferred from where I am to another place, please. When can I come and see mommy? And I said, okay, that's a problem, okay? No problem, okay? Let me have the card. So he gave me back the card. And I picked up a pen and I signed on the card. I gave it back to him. That was how he left happily. Getting home was another different ball game, another different story because for 2 weeks, no pocket money, Nothing came to my hand until Momsi repaired the car. And of course, the officer, now you trust the officer, he came knocking on Momsi's door, you know, and of course, he got his transferred from where he was to where he wanna be. And that's the way. So since that time, I know that there's power and there's power. And if someone says you should shut up, I will fight for you. Shut up. There's power in a name. You understand? So that's one thing that Momsi, you know, but she's retired now anyway. She's retired now. So all those power things that we used to enjoy then, we don't have it again. Before, I drove for over 10 years without driver's license. I'm saying it, so as soon as I said that one. As soon as I said that one. So you didn't hear, just delete it. Delete it in your mind, delete it. So right now, I'm a very, very loyal and, you know, respectable citizen. You know, I obey the law. I have all my papers complete. I don't even joke with those ones, you know. Just the way it is. Story time over. I hope you enjoyed the story. See you some other time. Yes, of course, my name is OJ. And if you're here to subscribe,